Hey, fight fans, welcome back to the channel. I'm really excited today to have one of the top prospects in the entire African continent in all divisions. A man who's 6-0, the current EFC flyweight champion, future UFC prospect. Actually, really a current UFC prospect, but we'll get to that a little bit later. Of course, I'm talking about Willie van Rooyen. Willie, welcome. Thank you so much for joining me.
So thank you, Werner. Thank you for inviting me up to the interview podcast. It's an honor.
Yeah, the honor's all ours. I'm a massive fan of this division, but particularly of you. You're taking on again now another international opponent on the 7th of August at EFC 126. What is your feeling on the opponent? How's your preparation been? And now going in as the champion, how are you feeling for the fight?
Yeah, so I'm feeling very confident, especially in this fight. The fight camp for this fight compared to my previous fight is actually like 10 times better as well. So yeah, I'm feeling super confident in this fight. Yeah, big. I'm very happy that Grayman actually were able to get me another international fight. Because I think it's also looks better on my fight record to have more international fights as well. So yeah, that will also help me to get. I'm gonna say just to make the record look better when you try to get into UFC and all that stuff. So yeah, for me, I'm feeling super confident. I'm very excited, and yeah, it's a massive honor.
Is there anything different for you this time now being the champion, or do you just approach it like another fight that you're going through?
So yeah, no, it is a bit different, but most of it feels for me it's a normal fight. I don't want to get my head all over the belt, and that I want my focus is mainly just on the fight itself. So yeah, I take the fight as if I'm fighting for the belt again, basically. So it's not that I'm defending the belt; I'm fighting for another flyweight world title, basically in my head. So yeah, it just helps me to get more motivated as well, and all that. Yes.
Yeah, and stay hungry. I mean, that's a great attitude to have. A lot of the top champions. I'm glad you say that because all of the top champions say the same thing. That's the way they keep that hunger because it's probably a lot of people could get complacent once they win a belt or defend a title, and it's great to hear you say that you're also doing that.
Yes. No, that's. But yeah, it's a very. I must say, it's a very mutual feeling. Because yeah, like you said, it helps you to stay hungry, and yeah, it gives you that message in the back of your mind that just says, listen, you have to push harder in the training because you're fighting for a belt. So yeah.
No, but and I heard you say now that you're feeling 10 times better for this camp than the last camp. And I mean, if I look at your last performance, that's a scary prospect for anybody that you're going to face. I want to talk a little bit about it because I'm also excited now that Graham and Ashley are bringing more international opponents. I like this South Africa versus the world type card. Because it shows that the South Africans, winning these fights. I mean, it was you and Terence, in particular, that won your fights, both in spectacular fashion. It shows that you can compete with the top guys in the world.
Yeah, yeah. No, I also I agree with you there. It's for me. It gives you more experience as well. Than rather just to fight locally every time. So if you get that international fights, it almost like I think it will also put EFC more on the map as well. If there's more international countries getting involved as well. So yeah, and if starts to get on the map, then the athletes as well that perform like even like me and Terence, and now Zondi has the opportunity. So it's good that EFC is getting that international opponents in because it puts you somewhere on the map, and that will also give you more coverage, and then the right guy might see you at the right time, and then there might come even better opportunities after if you perform well.
Most definitely. I mean, your last victory, I'll get back to that now. I mean, that's the type of victory against the guy that was touted to be the next UFC prospect, fought in LFA, which is a super well respected promotion, almost like a feeder promotion in the USA, for a lot of people to go through to the UFC. Experienced 8-4-1. All the hype behind him. When you come in there, you put him out within under 2 minutes. I don't remember the exact time, but you put him out with just textbook shot. And, that right there, when I saw that, I thought, okay, this surely next you're going to like Contender Series or, something like that. Before I get to that, just I want to ask you, what was the feeling like, man? Because that crowd, first of all, it's a spectacular KO. It's a crazy crowd, and you're winning the belt at such a young age. Like, how was your feeling after that fight?
Yes, it was so like crazy. I was shocked when I landed the knockout punch. So yeah, like the excitement basically over took over my whole body. Uh, that's at one stage I didn't even know how to react, because yeah, the crowd was going crazy, everyone was going crazy. I mean, even Graham was so shocked that he didn't even had the title ready when they announced the winner. So yeah, it was basically just crazy. But yeah, I was very very proud and happy um, when I landed that shot and I saw him fall down.
And I was going crazy. I live streamed those fights, and I was going mad on the live stream as well. It was just perfect, everything together, man. It just comes together, culminates with you winning the belt. Did you expect, or okay, firstly, maybe did you expect that that would be enough for you to maybe get some sort of international call up, and then secondly, were there any type of talks of you maybe fighting at an international promotion?
So yeah, I was definitely hoping that this would put me somewhere on the map. Someone sees the fight, and I get that opportunity of getting an fight at an international promotion. And yeah, there's been talks here and there of LFA, but yeah, it's still a bit in the mist. It's not really confirmed or anything about that. So yeah, I'm hoping maybe there's an opportunity to go and fight at LFA, maybe because that's also, like you said, almost like a feeder system in the US. So yeah, if I can get a fight there or even at UFC at the Contender Series or Ultimate Fighter or all that, it's I would basically my whole the whole year I'm in a fight camp basically, so I will always be ready to take a short notice opportunity. So yeah, and that's why we are pushing even harder with the fight camp. Like I said, now I'm feeling 10 times better because you never know after this fight if all goes well and there comes a short notice opportunity that say, listen, I need to go to fight in the US, then I have to be ready for it. So yeah, there's been talks, but nothing serious enough yet, basically.
Yeah, I think the LFA is perfect. I know a lot of people go to UAE Warriors, and not to bash any promotions or anything like that, but I feel like a lot of some of the promotions kind of, it's easy to stagnate maybe if you're fighting in those promotions. Whereas it might be better to stay in the EFC. But I think LFA is perfect, because there's a lot of eyes. I actually think they might be working together with the UFC. There's actually another South African flyweight that's fighting there now. So it'd be cool to have two South African flyweights in LFA. But I think, look, man, the time will come. I think because you're still young. There's still a lot of time. Obviously, the sooner the better. But even though that you're young, I wanted to ask you now as well, man. Where does that composure and that calmness come from? Because I mean, even in fights like with Jula, with Moshela, where like you might be in a compromising position. I mean, like with Moshela, you got dropped in the first round, but then you came back and you just it's like you got dropped, okay, woke you up, and you just put the foot on the gas. Where does that composure come from, man, at such a young age?
Yeah, so it's basically, I think it's just the fight experience. Because I've been doing basically martial arts, kickboxing, taekwondo, um, a little bit of boxing, and also the MMA. I started with kickboxing when I was 8 years old. So yeah, I'm 14, almost 15 years in the business now. So I think it's just basically that fight experience. And yeah, it helps you. The more you fight and stay active, the more you get used to everything. It was a bit weird, especially when I started at EFC because of the size of the crowd. But once you learn how to handle the crowd around you, um, then you just have to ignore, basically shut down everything, just focus on you and the opponent and the coaches. And yeah, I think it's one of my best skills that I have is that when I'm in a fight, the crowd can go crazy as they want to, but I will still be able to hear what my coaches say. Even though I'm in my opponent's corner, I'll still be able to see or basically pick up what my coaches are trying to say to me, and I won't even hear the crowd like over, how can I say, in volume, overwhelm them, basically. So yeah, it's one of the skills that I'm very grateful that I have. But like I said, I think it comes with the experience.
Most definitely. And one thing as well is, like, you mentioned all of those martial arts that you started with and you've been doing for a long time, all striking, but your grappling is also of a very high level. I mean, even in the Jula fight, he decided to grapple with you, and I mean, you ended up dominating the grappling exchanges. How long you been grappling for? Because it also looks like you've been doing that for ages, man.
No, I actually started to learn to wrestle when I started with my amateur MMA. My first amateur MMA fight, I didn't know anything about wrestling. I had a pure kickboxing background. The only thing that my coaches taught me a month and a half before the fight was basically how to sprawl, defend a takedown, and if the guy's on mount, you do have to do this hip escape, and that was basically that. So yeah, and that was about 2021 ish there around. So yeah, it's basically just it's I'm still basic I'm even now I'm still a bit new with the wrestling, but I had the opportunity to train now a few times with Coach Neil Geyser at CIT.
Who's a genius, by the way.
Yes, yeah, the amount of stuff that he learned me. I even had a few sessions with Steph Delaray also. BK helped us once or twice. And, so there's a lot of guys from CIT because our German CIT has a very, very good, what do you call it, relationship with each other. So we help them, they help us. And yeah, we've been helping each other in such a manner that our wrestling also improved a lot, especially from CIT side. So yeah, and then also basically the more you wrestle, the better you get at it. So it's a sport that you have to constantly do to be able to get better at it. So yeah.
How often are you training up with Neil and BK and everybody on that side?
No, so with Coach Neil, it's like once a week that I get a session. It's not like a private session. It's like a normal class. There's other students and grapplers involved, but he manages to split his attention up so good that it feels like you're doing a one-on-one class, even though there's 10, 20 other guys wrestling with you. So yeah, and then Saturdays, I we trained on Saturdays with Steph. It was first with BK, but then he started having the preparations for his one championship fight, and yeah, he's been traveling a lot now lately. So now it's with Steph that we were training, and Nerik help us as well. Nerik Samus, he helps me as well with the wrestling. Sometimes during the week, once or twice. So yeah.
Yeah, look, I mean, I was fortunate enough to have a couple of sessions with Neil when I was there last year. I had one at CIT, and then I had one at Neil's house as well. Two very different sessions, but the one thing that stands out for me is like it doesn't matter if you're the world champion, obviously in Dricus's case, or you're all the way down to someone that's just starting. His system is broken down so well and so like so anyone can understand that system, and it covers pretty much every base. So you continue long enough with him, it's definitely going to be good.
Yeah, no, I fully agree with you on that one. Yeah.
And now just wanted to touch on EFC because you mentioned how the crowd, when you first started at EFC, how the crowd was a little bit difficult to adjust to or to overcome that crowd noise. Did going through IMAFs, did that not prepare you much for that? Is it completely different? I mean, obviously EFC's got probably 1,000 people, very closed, small arena, so it's quite compact. But fighting on the IMAF stage, did that not prep you a little bit for that?
No, it definitely did. And yeah, as well, it's like it definitely helped a bit. But like you said, if you compare the IMAF, even with kickboxing, I went to the World Championships on that as well. And then the crowds are massive. But if you compare IMAF, there's 4 or 5 fights happening at once because they set up a lot of cages because there's different divisions that they have to run through. So it's not just one cage at a time. And so the whole crowd's focus on not on you, it's basically on all, it's split up between all the cages. So now when you go to EFC, it's all everyone sitting there isn't watching at someone else, they're watching at you. So it's basically a lot of, and there's a lot of guys that I know that lost their debuts, but it's because they had stage fright. It's not because the guy was actually better than them. If they were fighting in a normal sparring session with a small crowd, they would have beaten the other guy very quickly, but then they lost because the stage fright and the pressure was too much for them. So yeah, the IMAF definitely, and like I said, the kickboxing world and all that stuff, that it helped a lot, I must say, to get used to that crowd. Uh, the only thing I need to work on now is a bit on my microphone skills. But yeah, that's will come over time as well, I believe.
Nah, man. You know what? I mean, it depends what type of selling of the fight you want to do. But I guess at the end of the day, the thing that sells fights the best is the fight. So, you know, and just most people best thing is just to be themselves. So I think there's nothing wrong with your mic skills now if that's who you are. But yeah, I think EFC's perfect platform. Graham and I have spoken about this before. In Dricus's case particularly, how the mic skills now, having the press conferences, having the bright lights, having the crowd, even though the size of the crowd is different in the UFC, it's the perfect platform. And now with international opponents, it's just the perfect platform to make that step up to the UFC.
Yes, yes. No, I fully agree. It shapes you as a professional fighter very, very well, I must say. Yeah.
Now tell me, I know you said you're not too worried about necessarily. It doesn't feel like it's a fight we have to defend the belt. It feels like you're going for the belt again. But August 7th, everything goes well. You beat your opponent again. What are you looking? Well, before I get to that, actually, how does that fight go in your mind on the 7th of August? Have you thought of how it goes, or
So yeah. So yeah, for me, what I'm actually happy about is my opponent has a kickboxing background, Muay Thai style type of background. Not 100% sure, but I know he's definitely has a striking stand-up background. So um, for me, I'm very happy about that. Because I myself am more of a stand-up fighter as well. So yeah, if all goes well, I don't see the fight really going past the third round, to be honest. either with if I have to take him on the ground and showcase the wrestling a bit, I'll do it. Or if I have to, if like I said, if a knockout comes, it comes. I don't go for the knockouts; it must come on its own. And yeah, so but yeah, like I said, I'm so confident in my training camp this time that yeah, the fight won't. I don't think see the fight going past the third round.
Is it tough? One more question before I get to the last question, but is it tough to prepare for someone that's not, there's not a lot of footage on, because I couldn't find much. And again, don't give away, you don't have to give away anything, but just, opponent like us is an international opponent, but I couldn't find that much footage on him.
Yeah, like, so yeah, the funny thing is my mother and even my girlfriend and her side, her mother and everyone, they were basically scrolling through the internet trying to find footage of this guy, background and everything. And yeah, for me, that doesn't bother me at all. It's one of the, how can I say, one of the ways my coach always prepared me for a fight is you never know if this guy is a striker now, and you're preparing for striking, he might have changed his game plan, and when you come to the fight, he doesn't strike with you at all, and he just wrestles you, and now you're basically stuck on the game plan. So now you're prepared for striker, and now he's just keep on wrestling you, and now you don't know what to do. So we don't really. I checked one or two videos, seeing him doing like bag work, and I think I saw one of his K1 fights, but it's an old fight. Just to more or less see what style he's fighting. So he's a very aggressive fighter, almost like Gagelu, like Muchela fought. So he's an aggressive fighter, but yeah, I prepare basically to fight anyone. If there's a late opponent change, it's not gonna bother me that much. I know I'll be prepared for, if the guy's a grappler, I'll be prepared to fight him. If he's a stand-up guy, I'll be prepared. So yeah, I don't really investigate that much in my opponents. I just prepare to improve me myself, not according to my opponents, but to improve my weaknesses and strengths even more. So yeah.
That's awesome, dude. That is the champion's mindset. The opponent doesn't matter. You just prep and do everything that you need to do. Now, last question. If obviously all goes well, you're planning to defend the belt. Do you have a preference of what you want next? Have you? Because I mean, EFC's 125-pound division is the most stacked for me in the entire EFC, with so much talent and so many different fights you can make. Have you got a preference of defending the belt next, or going, straight international, or haven't you given that much thought?
Um, so yeah, if I have to defend the bout again, I would prefer another international opponent fight. If it's possible. But yeah, for me, if I can get after this fight, get a fight at an international promotion, that will definitely be the I'll definitely prefer that the most. So yeah, I want to get in more international experience. So that's the goal after this fight.
Well, Willie, I think it's just a matter of time before you are in the UFC, honestly, and not only just being part of the UFC, but I think being a top name in the UFC. I mean, you've got time on your side, you've got talent, you've got an aggressive fighting style, a fan favorite type fighting style. So I'm looking forward to this fight on the 7th of August, versus Guffin. If that's, I think that's how you say his name, Guffin. And yeah, man, I just it doesn't matter. It's all the same if he's laying on the canvas unconscious, I guess. Um, but yeah, I'm looking forward to the fight on the 7th of August. I'm a big fan, as you know, and looking forward to seeing what happens next. Whether it is a defense in the UFC or straight to the UFC or even LFA, I'm really excited for the future. For your future in MMA.
Yeah, no, thank you. I'm just as excited as well. I can't wait to see what the future holds up for me. But yeah, if like you said, if the UFC comes quick, then I'll yeah, then I'm definitely going to be happy. Yes.
Yeah. Well, Willie, I appreciate the time. Thank you so much for joining me today. Willie is fighting on the 7th of August. If you guys haven't heard already, EFC 126 main event, defending the belt. And make sure you guys catch that fight and the live stream that we're going to be doing. And we'll see you guys for the next one. Cheers, everybody.